First tonight, the crippling cost of water. We know South Australia has the highest electricity prices in Australia, but water's not far behind. Our average bills are now more than in any other state. And as HENDRIK reports, the real impact is out in the bush.
Every quarter, a water bill.
Well, it's gone up 250 to 300% in the last 10 years.
Every year, more expensive. Every time, harder to pay.
It just seems ridiculous.
Between 2007 and 2011, prices tripled. If that were petrol prices, you'd be walking.
Obviously, the transport industry couldn't run, and the water is like our petrol for our business.
Adam Mary runs Black Angus down the Coorong. He has a cost, feed, fences and water for his stock. Water, the most expensive.
That's an enormous cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's more than feed.
Yeah, it is.
Incomprehensible as it seems, this is cheaper than this. The water each animal drinks will have cost Adam $100 by the time it's ready for you to buy.
This current water bill just for the 1 quarter is $13,200 odd.
A quarter?
Just for 1 quarter, yes.
Yes, wherever we live, on the land or in the city, we in South Australia pay more for water than any other Australian.
It just seems cruel that you would have to pay the same for water that someone in Adelaide might to making a cup of tea that we do for watering our livestock for food production.
It comes from here, the mighty Murray, just like the water you drink at home. It's treated, chlorinated, like your water, and it costs to the cent exactly the same.
But you don't have to water a garden if you don't want to in Adelaide. You know, if we want to keep our family business going, we've got to water our animals, and we just can't afford to do it.
David Head grows South Australian pork near Tintinara. It's what you want to buy, but it's facing cheaper imports, so it doesn't help that his water bill is $40,000 a year.
Big cost.
Oh, huge, huge. We can't afford to pay a water bill now, and that's how it's got to, and it's embarrassing, it's frustrating, and we've been trying to deal with this for 4 or 5 years and nobody cares in the government departments or SA Water.
SA Water, a government corporation. It makes a profit, almost $240 million a year, $30 million higher than forecast because of higher prices. A $240 million difference between the cost of supplying water and the price you pay, a water tax. But while you may struggle, do others have their snouts in the trough? SA Water paid its staff almost $500,000 in employee bonuses.
Water users, city people, country people, we're all paying their bonuses.
And 6 people paid a combined $34,000 in retention payments.
While they're sitting out and having a glass of wine together and patting each other on the back, it's destroying people out in the land.
Well, it's extremely disappointing in that we know that, you know, we're propping that up.
The water is so expensive, landholders are now considering building their own pipeline from the Murray or the lower lakes.
And you're in the millions of dollars to get these up and running. And it just seems ridiculous that fundamentally we're pulling out of the same water source, and you'll be laying your pipes, your infrastructure right next to the SA water pipe that's already been there for 50 years.
That doesn't seem to make much sense.
It doesn't.
Paid off generations ago, pumping water that falls from the sky free, putting people out of business.
This country was opened up with the SA water pipeline, and unfortunately now the cost of that water is almost pushing us out.
There's 2 choices in life. I've got very sick mentally, and I'm happy to put my hand up and say that. I give up, or I fight for what I believe is right and fair.
SA Water has 1.7 million customers. It delivers an essential service. It's not bringing home the bacon.
In your dealings with SA Water, have you found them open, honest and frank?
There's not one of those words that I would depict SA Water for, and it just seems cruel.
7 News Young Achiever Awards celebrate the accomplishments of young people throughout South Australia and the positive impacts they've had on their community. One of this year's winners certainly embodies all of that. Carlos Mayer-Koch is a chance to compete in next year's Olympics in karate, and he uses those skills to empower others. Elise Baker has more.
It's not about flying kicks and chopping wood, you know, it's about getting to know your body, getting to know your limits.